All right, what's happening, people? Welcome back to the Brothers Geek Out channel. This is Fight Talk with the BMAs. I'm joined, as usual, by my boy K West in beautiful Thailand, and we're going to be talking about some fights. We had some ONE FC and we had UFC 288. So great weekend of fights, lots to talk about, lots to break down. First things first, bro. How are you doing? You're on that amazing beach in Thailand. What's going on, man? How's the week?
Yeah, man, the week's been a working week, man. Like I told you last week, I had some things set up and they kicked into motion and they really did push me forward, supported me, advertised me, put me on their Facebook, on their Instagram, and some clients came my way so they got to test what I'm about. So yeah, it's positive, really, really positive. That they take action here. You can get shit moving if you got the right mindset and such and such. So yeah, I'm wowed. Basically, I'm wowed.
Amazing,
How you
amazing.
doing, man? How you doing in your land? I see you're a lot more comfortable. You're not more less things to worry about. I'm sure you have your niggles here and there, but it sounds like all in all, you're pretty much well. Thanos is on his throne. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's been good. It's been good to get back to routine. Last week I was on vacation, or the week before I was on vacation mode because my sister was here and whatnot. So we got out and about. This week was about getting back into routine with work and training, and it's always never easy. You know what I mean? The anxiety of getting back into that reality of stuff. But yeah, no, it's been good. We yes, definitely feel way more settled in Dubai. It's great here, and now it's just kind of like living. And on the weekends, we try and find time to explore and see stuff. It's harder for the missus just because she relies on me a lot in regards to driving
Right.
around and getting out and about. So she doesn't have the flexibility, but no, it's awesome, man. It's nice. It's nice. We're still trying to make the best of it, and we'll see where the future takes us. But right now, yeah, enjoying this Dubai life and whatnot. So yeah, it's
To
all
hear
good,
it, man.
man.
I love to hear your journey as well, because about 12 weeks ago, you were pissed, you know, and I remember you were trying to work on having a positive outlook on things and not trying not to be stressed and so on, which is very, a very powerful change in behavior to implement at this stage in age, to change
Hmm.
things around because at this certain age, we're kind of a bit more cemented in our thinking. So, like, hats off to you for making that happen. And I'm sure your wife would have appreciated that switch that you made. So,
Definitely.
yeah, good on
Always
you.
working on it. I mean, the truth is,
Mm.
when you're like when you're dealing with like how do I pull it, man, like when you're dealing with so many things at once and it's all stressful, it
Aggro.
just explodes, right? But when life is
Yeah.
good right now and then one thing you have to
Mm.
deal with is a bit stressful, it's like, oh, I have a little moment, but you're dealing with one thing. I think at that time when I was trying to settle into Dubai,
Mm.
everything was stressful because like I said, everything here doesn't run smoothly. There is no good
Yeah.
customer service, there is no good it's a hustle out here. So doing
Yeah.
all of that at
100%.
once was very difficult. So now I'm in a
Yeah.
position where, we deal with a thing here and there, but it's not as stressful because it's one thing at a time. So it was just a tough first 5 months. But yeah, no, I'm still trying. I can't say to you that I don't get angry, but I've been a lot better. Just working on it every time, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Working on it
man.
every time and just trying to enjoy it. Now I'm just trying to keep things enjoyable out here because, like I said, like it can get boring for my missus because she doesn't
Mm.
have what I have, like a car and all that stuff. She's taking driving lessons, which is great. So I'm hopefully
Mm.
once she passes
Yeah.
that, she can have the
Positive.
flexibility to go around. But
Yes.
I think we're both kind
Yes.
of looking forward to, like, after my sister was here, we both had kind of like withdrawal syndromes of like, being around family and that sort of stuff. So it's never the easiest. Like I've dealt with this for 9 years, living away from the family. No
Yes.
matter what fun
For
I'm
90.
on. Yeah, no, I left in 2014. So it's coming up to end of 2014. So it's coming up
Yeah,
to nine
been
years.
long.
Yeah. So no matter
That's how
what,
long I've known you then. I've known you for 9 years, son.
yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, exactly. Because I met you that year before I left the country. So
Oh my
um,
gosh.
no matter
You're
what,
one of my
where
longest friendships.
what's that? Sorry.
You're one of my longest friendships.
well, hopefully another 19 years or whatever it is, you know what I mean? 900 years, whatever, however we stay alive.
Keep it plugging. Keep it plugging.
That's
Yeah,
it,
yeah,
man.
yeah, yeah,
But
yeah.
yeah, no, I mean, look, I was
Damn.
telling my wife, no matter what, for 9 years, all the adventures I've been on, all the exploring different countries, all these beautiful things,
Yes.
nothing ever beats the feeling of family to me. Nothing ever beats
Yeah.
the feeling of like,
Okay.
I wish family was here, or when I was with family or someone come.
Yeah.
Nothing ever beats that.
I
Never
remember.
will. You know, so it's just kind of like, you know, I just go through my day to day, and then you know, like it's the hustle of life. Nothing is easy in life. Nothing, right? Name one thing that's easy. If you even if you want to keep in shape and have a six pack, that's not easy, right? Even if you want to work and achieve something, it's not easy. Even this life I'm living now, even though I'm living a luxurious life and I can't complain, it's not easy because I miss my family. You know what I mean? You still got hustle, you know, hustle. Then you have a break. Maybe you meet family, someone comes over, then you love it. And then you go back, you have that withdrawal syndrome, and it's like, oh, well, now it's back to hustle again. We have to work to have those moments. So nothing's ever easy, man. And it's always going to be hard in any aspect. Like there's so many different aspects to struggle and fun. But hey, man, that's life. That's life. You know what I mean? We just got to embrace it.
Yeah, I mean, I remember many years ago. I think around the same time that I met you, I remember speaking to a girlfriend at the time, and I said to her, like, you know, like if life didn't have any challenges, it would be really boring. It would just be like what's the term? Tinyville. No, is it Toonville? I can't remember, but it was this like this movie about this town that's very perfect, you know, and a utopic town. It had something going on beneath the surface, but it was just all for show that it was all good and nice. That's not how things are. And yeah, no, I completely lost my train of thought now, but
Yeah,
I was
no.
going somewhere good with that.
And she said, but you were saying basically like life without any struggle would be boring.
Yeah, that was it. That was it. Yeah. So,
and you can't appreciate
anything worth merit, right? You have to strive and fucking bleed for, and that's the way it is.
Yeah, and you would never, if life was just fun every day, you would never appreciate the fun. You would never appreciate the positives that's happening because you're like, oh, this is just regular life, but you would never really truly appreciate it. So even when I'm with my family, it's the best feeling in the world, just waking up, going downstairs and see my nephews and nieces. But I appreciate a lot more because I'm not there. But don't get me wrong, of course, one day I want to get to a point where it's every day because I don't want to be with my family away from them forever. But you know, there'll be, you know, it's just a hustle of life. It is what it is, man, for anyone. And I think for anyone to say that it's easy, then maybe you just haven't experienced, and I don't wish anything hard upon you, but maybe you just haven't experienced life really. If you just say, no, life is amazing and whatnot. I mean, life is amazing. Don't get me wrong. I'm talking about if you haven't, if you think that like you haven't gone through any struggles and whatnot, I don't wish any struggles upon you, but if you haven't, then you don't really can appreciate the when it's fun, when it's amazing. You know what I mean? So if life's great, perfect. It should be great. I think, and I'm not saying life is not great because life is amazing. I just appreciate the hustles and the struggles, and I appreciate feeling a little bit sad about it because when it is good and when you are experiencing, be it good food or good sightseeing or family or whatnot, you're like, this is what I work for. This is amazing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, then you know, like when you sit back in your expensive chair, you rock back in it, and you know, in your case, you're gonna drink some very supremely high end, top shelf, top dollar fucking herbal tea with crumpets or whatever else, little aperitifs you want to have with it, and sit back in your mansion and whatnot, and have all these assets and whatever it is that you want and dream and be like, yeah, like I made this happen because I willed it to, and no one can take that away from me. And my kids and the grandkids are all gonna have a piece of this because this is what I wanted to do in my life for my family. Simple.
Yeah, definitely, man. And then I was talking to my missus about the other day, like, as weird as this sounds, it's just a legacy. You know, what I'm doing now, it's a legacy. And, you know, and I'm carrying it on from my grandfather. Like, he made a choice to join the army and fight in World War II to get my family where it is today. My dad hustled and made his choice to work 2-3 jobs, not really being at home to get me where I am today. And I got to put in some kind of hustle. My life is great. But I still got to put in some kind of hustle and set up my kids' future in the future. You know what I mean? Like, because the way I see it, in my opinion, if I fall off, or if my kids fall off, then what my grandparents, what my dad did, you're ruining that legacy. You're ruining the upward legacy. Don't let it go down. Like, we've been given opportunities to go up. Don't let it go down. Don't let them guys, them old school dudes who went through the hard times in life, to give us good life, to start being like, oh, my life's so great, and then fuck it all up and go down. No, man. Like, let's keep bringing it up, but also keep humble. You have to work hard for it. My kids are not going to be spoiled, man. Like, you're going to have to work for it. Like, let's not be like, oh, I'm rich, I got money, like, I'll get what I want. No, we're going to have to work for it. Everything comes with a hustle. But yeah, like, you know, listen, man, like, all this talk about kids, I've had so many friends. My brother's Kibler's ready to have a baby with his missus any second now. Still not news yet, but any second now. I just found out some other friends. One of my other friends at work just had a baby on Friday, and my manager, she said she's pregnant. One of my other friends, Josh. Do you remember Josh? Did you meet Josh when you came to my house last time? The personal trainer guy. Was you there? Anyway, he just had a baby last week. I'm just like, man, it's all this baby talk. All this baby talk. Inshallah, one day for me. Yeah, inshallah.
Are you brooding? Who's brooding? Someone's brooding.
I've been brooding for years. It's just about having. I've always wanted a child. But you know, having the reality of having those conversations now, it makes things nerve-wracking. You're like, oh, that's nervous, but let's have those conversations. So inshallah, anyway.
All right, man. All right.
But on that note,
positive energy to that.
Yeah. Thank you. On that note, man, let's talk some fights, man, because we had some good fights this weekend. I had the opportunity to sit down and watch as many as possible. What do we start off? UFC? Like, I just came fresh off watching the UFC 288. So let's talk UFC, and then we'll go talk about the One Championship, which is also an awesome card and some awesome fights as well. UFC 288, Henry Cejudo. Oh, Aljamainsterling, the champion, versus Henry Cejudo, and still the champion, Aljamainsterling. I thought it was a great fight. I thought the results were right, and I think Aljamain done a great job to keep distance. I thought he won. You know, I thought he struck better. He kept the pace. You know, Cejudo. I'm not saying, I don't know. I think at the end he even said it seemed like that he was underestimating Aljo. At the end of the fight, he did say, I didn't expect him to be that tough. So, you know, maybe Aljo, you know, maybe that knee, and everyone keeps cussing him about that Oscar-winning performance, about that knee, has put a perception in people's head that Aljo is weak and he's not tough. But maybe, I don't know. But, you know, Aljo's proven, you know, that he's definitely the champion. He puts in the work. And, you know, he did what he had to do and fought and beat Henry Cejudo. What was your thoughts on the fight?
I thought it wasn't an aesthetically pleasing fight, but the fight is not for us. It's for Aljamain. Aljamain did what he had to do to win, right? And, you know, I'm sure, right, and I'm not one of them because I'm very unbiased about most fights that I watch. People are going to be against Aljamain and call it a boring fight and so on and so on. Right? He did what he had to do to win, and I think hats off to him. Like, it was a good performance. Was it exciting? No. I'll admit, like, at some point I had to go, but I could decide to stay in one place and watch the rest of the fight, or go and go to the beach. And I missed the last round because I was like, you know. So that's what it was. But hats off to Aljamain. I see Cejudo wants to. He's got to figure some things out, right? What do you think of the fight?
I don't know what it is, bro. There's rarely I can say a fight's proper boring to me. Like, whatnot. I'm always interested. I don't know what it is. Like, I'm always find these fights interested in. And like you said, like, I would never disrespect a fighter for doing what he had to do to win, because are you here to fight and win or entertain? Now, I know it's the entertainment business, and I know the fans want entertainment. Cool. Then that's a different game. I don't know. With martial arts, you don't play fighting. GSP says it all the time. You play all other sports, you don't play fighting. Now, if you want to play entertainment and fighting and brain damage, then so be it. Go play that game.
WWE.
Yeah, exactly. Or be one of those fighters who do it for that. You know what I mean? Like I will always want to be an exciting fight. You know,
Or
but
go be a fight choreographer. Simple.
yeah, exactly. And then you got, but you know, if you know, some people like, I mean, I don't know, like Justin Gaethje, you know, it's always in an exciting fight. Now he's a top contender and whatnot. He's
Yeah.
made some changes in the top. Be like, oh, I can't be
Ooh.
as fit. Michael Chandler, exciting as hell,
Oh.
but has he won? You know what I mean? Super exciting to watch, and you can't miss one of his fights. But has he won? Is that good for his health? He's you know lost a couple. So it depends, man. But no, I'm not saying to you that I'm the biggest Aljo fan. I'm not saying to you I'm the biggest Cejudo fan, but I enjoyed that fight. It was very high stake. It was exciting. You know, I'm a fan of them as fighters, let's put it that way, in regards to like personalities and stuff. Henry does the best job at being the cringy guy. He's so good at it that even I get cringed and annoyed by what he does. I mean, I don't know if you saw some of the pre-fight stuff, you know, even Krongracie, you know, walked out of one of the rooms. It was like when he's done, I'll go back, because he was just being so cringy and whatnot. Did you see that when they were signing posters?
Nah, I didn't see any
Basically,
of this.
they were signing
Right.
posters and it was Krongracie and Henry Cejudo. And Henry Cejudo, I think you know, just being cringe as usual. Then he looked down at his picture on the poster and he's like, damn, I'm so beautiful. And then Krongracie just put his pen down and he goes, I'm like, call me back when he's done. And I don't blame him, because I wouldn't want to be in that room too. He's so cringy. He does it so well. Where he got this gimmick from, but his face, his expressions, his voice, I'm like, you got the cringe down, man. But I don't like, honestly, in my opinion, I don't like listening to him talk. So, but I love watching him fight because he's that freaking good. So
see, with him, with him, I think I think I saw a video of charlesjoudain saying that he is a great competitor, right? And I think that's what it is about him. He's just, when I saw him fight like Moraes, and you know, he was losing the first round, and he was able to dig deep and change his game plan, and you know, just completely surprise his opponent and win convincingly, decisively. I was like, yo, this guy, his mindset is on another level. And then I hear recently that all these other guys and girls, Zhang Wei Li and John Jones, going to him for advice for training. I'm thinking, okay, this guy is a mastermind, a genius, philosopher, choreographer. You know, he's a different thinker. You know, he understands the game, different kind of context. So I was quite surprised that he was unable to you know, be as decisive as he normally is against Aljamain. Like I said, Aljamain was a bigger guy. He had more reach against him, and you know, he didn't get to win. Like I said.
Yeah, I mean, he's definitely one of the best minds in the game, especially as a fighter as well. But you know, when you're in there and things are happening in real life against someone like Aljamain, like you can never replicate the individual. Like you can get styles, you can get this, and you can never replicate. And a fight is real life. Like anything could happen. Like you could be bouncing and slip. You could, you know what I mean? Like you just don't know what could happen. Like you think like, oh, I'm gonna take a little step to the left to get out of angle, but maybe your step is just too big, or maybe you trip over his foot or something like that. So you just don't know. Like, but he's definitely one of the best minds in the game. In a way, maybe he was overlooking Aljo, saying that I'm gonna fight Aljo, I'm gonna beat him, I'm gonna go straight to Sugar Shane, then I'm gonna go up and fight Vote. Did you as a strategic person that you are, did you not look at the strategy of focusing on him and overlook the strategy of your, because he put his strategy on that visual goal of those 3 steps, which is possibly a good thing as well. I'm not saying you shouldn't, but maybe there was something strategically wrong with that, and maybe you should have focused your goal on that, you know, Aljamain who's a champion. I don't know. I'm not on that level. I don't know. But you know, Aljo did what he had to do, and he put on a great fight, and you know, I'm excited for the next fight, which is Sugar Shane. Like, and they had a little moment in the cage after. I don't know if you saw that, but that was a little moment between them. And Sugar Shane's an exciting guy, and don't get me wrong, Sugar Shane's got a heavy following and everything. I like his fighting style. I don't watch his interviews or his podcasts and any of that sort of stuff, but I'm excited to see his fights and everything. But you know, that's gonna be exciting for that division.
No doubt. I think like with Aljamain, um, what did I tell you? I feel like he did what he had to do to win, and you know, I was saying to my friend, that guy needs to come down to Thailand and fucking work some Muay Thai because his standing is a little bit basic, right? What do you think? It's a bit basic.
Well, look, it's not like one of the best, but he was piecing because Cejudo had a problem with the distance, so he was piecing him up with kicks and keeping the pressure. Not as much hands. I didn't see much hands, but a lot of kicks. So agreed, but obviously he's more of a grappler than anything.
He is. But I feel like let me reword this so it sounds fucking polished. I think, right, like Aljamain, as I said at the top of the conversation, he did what he had to do to win. It's not going to be the most aesthetically pleasing. I'm already can guarantee a lot of people on Twitter hating about him right now and on other social mediums because that's what they have. That's what they want to do. But he did what he had to do. And the point is, like, I feel like watching that fight and seeing his tools and seeing all he could do, I feel like he needs to really work a bit more to improve himself and to enhance his abilities on the striking, to make that a bit more of a, bit more elusive, a bit more varied in his tools and his arsenal, because it became quite, like a robotic system, and he starts shooting and it's like, come on, man, like you're not James Raya, man.
He's lucky he's got a great cardio, right? He's lucky he's got cardio for days because even though he was shooting, he would still pop up and start throwing strikes and whatnot. But no, I agree. Of course, he's got work to do, I think, on his striking. I think
I want to see him do that.
I think he was able to do it good against Cejudo because he was able to manage that distance and whatnot. Against Sugar Sean, would that striking go good against Sugar Sean? Probably no. Sugar Sean's longer. He's a better striker probably. But that might not be the game plan. The game plan with Sugar Sean could be pressure and takedowns and try and get his back and choke him out.
Yeah. I mean, that's what would make the most sense. I really feel like the holes in Aljamain's game are completely different. The holes in Aljamain's game, I feel like, is his striking. I feel like he needs to improve that. His grappling is already second to none. He's a backpack kid. We accept that. Like, I've seen him do that numerous dudes smoothly. Silky as well. Get that striking up, man. That's all I'd say. What do you think? Like working with Stephen Thompson, Wonderboy Compton, or someone, like, give him some different dynamics to his strike. Something, man.
Yeah, I mean, it could definitely work. I mean, listen, like you could see, and it's not saying that his striking is bad because he was throwing like nice kicks, nice question mark kicks, stuff like that. So it's just, I guess it's just a little bit about putting it together and stuff like that.
Yeah. Like, I'm not saying he ain't got none of it, right? I'm not saying he's washed in his striking, but like, obviously Henry Cejudo is an amazing striker. Like, I'd say Henry Cejudo had more power in his hands than Aljamain, no? Like, in terms of hands to hands.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think so for sure. I mean, but Cejudo struggled with the distance a little bit, especially in the beginning. Yeah, especially in the beginning.
He struggled a lot. Aljamain did really well to manage that advantage that he had, and it really worked for him, But I feel like if he could use his range and John Jones it and throw things together from distance, like, he would be disgusting, man.
Definitely. Hey, these are the best thing about these champions, these elite athletes. I'm pretty sure, regardless, he's working on it all. Do you know what I mean? No one ever sits up there thinking I'm the best and every part of me is the best. But I think he's a great champ. I don't know why people hate on him. Maybe, again, I don't listen to him off camera or off fighting. Same with Henry Cejudo. So that stuff, like, can be cringy. I don't want to hear it, all that sort of stuff. But fighting wise, I mean, just one of the best, man. I mean, I think he's a great champion. He's proved it. The knee, which might, when I say put a stain, I'm talking about just put a visual stain in people's head where people like, did he give up or whatnot? But I think he's overcome that and he's proved it. Like, like, whatever happened at that time, he's overcame that and he's proved to people. I beat Petr Yan last time again. And I just went on this fight with Henry Cejudo. Who's next? And that's Sugar Shane.
I'm with you on that. I feel like that was the one that made him a decisive champion, a controversial champion, because he decided to embrace the fact that he had won this belt in many people's eyes undeservingly, and then he was able to double down and beat Petrian in a decisive fashion. So in my eyes, for me personally, I ain't give a fuck about everybody else on Twitter and all that shit, but he has proven he deserves to have that belt. Could he do better?
Definitely.
Yes, and we've already spoken about what he could do. I feel like if he worked on those things, he can do a lot better. But someone like with Omar,
Usman. No,
Nurmagomedov,
Uman. I can't
I
remember
feel
his
like
name
one of those
myself.
guys that are a bit more trickier, that's got a bit more things to a bit more, they're not afraid of being taken down or whatever, and they've got crazy dynamics. I feel like they would cause him problems if he doesn't have answers for that. He's going to be in trouble.
We'll see. You know what I mean? We shall see. I mean, because I feel like, yeah, let's see. I think he's proved himself up to this point. He went up against a world-class Olympic gold wrestler, so from the grappling perspective, you can't say nothing. From a striking perspective, he was able to nullify Petrian with the grappling, right? Let's see what he does with Sugar Shane. I'm trying to say, like a longer, more dynamic, different kind of striker, good power. Let's see what he does against him, and then we can see. And then if Sugar Shane beats him, then Sugar Shane's got to deal with Merab, because Merab's just Aljo's boy. And they, like he's a different kind of beast as well. And if Aljo's training with Merab, that's why his cardio is so good. I felt like the reason why his pace is so good is because him and Merab are probably going at it back and forth.
Going at it.
Yeah,
man. He's doing so bad, he's just going.
Freaking hell. Amazing. Amazing. Look, man. And I was just gonna say, in regards to the Twitter people and Aljo, I hope he's above all that shit, because those people don't mean shit in his life.
I hope so
or
too.
Anyone's life. But yeah.
I hope so too. I was gonna say, I was thinking about Aljo, but I was even thinking about his next fight, which is, obviously Sugar Shane came into the octagon, and then Merab took his Michael Jackson.
He put his jacket on. I love that.
He's a bad boy. He's a bad boy. I thought that was so slick.
Because at first I was like, oh, he's wearing the same jacket, and then I was like, hold on, he just put his jacket on. Yeah, it's so good.
He just he flexed that real good.
So good. Listen, that's going to be an exciting fight for that division. Sugar Shane definitely does bring that, which is exciting for that division.
Yes.
But let's see, because Aljo's definitely got something against him, so the build up to that's going to be good. So that's fun. But yeah, let's
Turban.
Yeah, Turban's looking good, bro. Looking good.
All right, thank you, man.
Let's go on to the co-main event, which was another exciting fight for the welterweight division. Two absolute mental beasts, bro. Because you got Burns coming off the Masvidal fight a month ago, and then you got belalmuhammad, who just came off Ramadan a couple of weeks ago. So both of them were in a position where it was like not a full card and whatnot. Full training camp and all that sort of stuff. But
training camp,
man, what a great! Again, I think it was a great fun fight, and also what a great performance by Belal, man. That guy, the pace, the stance changing, his style, the left kick,
left high kick, yes,
just everything, man. He's involved so much. He's really freaking exciting, man. I love watching him fight. Burns is such a beast. He had that left arm shoulder issue probably from the first round when he tried to go for a takedown.
Is that what happened with the knee? Yeah, that's what happened.
I don't know if it was the knee, because I think the knee connected on the other side. I think when he went for that takedown, Belal kind of stuffed it a little bit. They fell on his left shoulder. He braced off the left arm. I think it was something like that, and then just kind of messed up Burns' left shoulder. Even though Burns couldn't use that left shoulder, I mean, even if Burns was on top form, it would still be hard to beat that kind of belalmuhammad, because that pace and that strategy that Belal puts on is just amazing.
Yeah, man.
Just a great fight from both of them. Very strategic, very understanding and respecting each other's abilities to because Belal said he said it himself, like, my coach and my team knew that if you hurt him, don't go in, because we've seen what Burns does when he's hurt. Like he see what he does to comes out and whatnot. He'll get you. So like just be strategic and smart. And that's what he did. He just pieced him up. What a dominating performance by belalmuhammad, against Gilbertburns. And now he's getting the next title shot, which he freaking deserves more than anything. So that's going to be exciting.
Yo, he's way overdue. You know, there's a bunch of guys in the UFC that are, you know, ridiculously. They are owed so much by the UFC. You know, like maybe we all know they're not the most exciting, controversial, crazy cat fighters out there. You know, but they have a record, right? But it's not respected because we're in an entertainment era. Conor made this a thing, and I sit on the fact that it makes money for the UFC, and that's what it is. And unfortunately, Belal is a respectful Muslim, great fighter, hard worker. He's improved over time, and in my opinion, it shows that despite the situation of Leon getting the cut and whatnot, he's up there in the top three fight, like in top three division, the top three in the division. Is top, he's obviously going to be number one contender now, and it's deserved. But it's sad to see that he had to work so hard for so long to get this position. So
that's
sad.
like a Tony Ferguson, right? Like almost kind of like
straight
him,
up, straight up,
which was unfortunate.
Weird, geeky.
Yeah, I mean, but yeah, look, I mean, that was an exciting fight and a great fight, and again, you can't deny Belal now. He beat Gilbertburns, who's absolutely a world beater and whatnot.
Top notch.
And I feel like both of them, like I said, had their little. I don't know if you want to call it obstacle, adversity, or whatever, but Burns coming off the Masvidal fight, like 2 training camps straight in a row. You can only imagine how tough that is. And then Belal coming off Ramadan again, and if you know about Ramadan, that's you fasting throughout the day, sunrise to sunset, no calories, no water, no nothing. And yeah, so it's just amazing. I think that fight really solidified both of them, right, mentally, but also physically. And Belal, I mean, Belal, even in round 5, my guy is not even breathing hard. Like he's got such a great pace, cardio and whatnot. Which you got to give credit to his work ethic and whatnot. But I feel like a fight between him and Kobe might be a very fun back and forth fight just because of the cardio and the pace. But even though with him and Leon, which they had their fight, and you can say Leon was winning that fight before the eye poke, but you just never know what happens in the later rounds. Yes. But both fights are exciting, and I'm excited to see what happens in the future.
Yeah. Likewise, like I feel like they're gonna have to run it back at some point, and that's gonna be exciting because for many reasons they've both grown exponentially since the last time that they fought. Obviously Leon has taken on Kamaru twice. Tomorrow we all know what he's about, right? And obviously Bilal's come off Ramadan and been able to bring up a performance against Gilbertburns, who is a complete animal in that division. He's coming off a crazy win off Masvidal, and he had 3 fights in 4 months.
Right? So yeah, 3 fights in 4 months. I believe so.
Crazy, Yeah, I noticed like since he got an afro, he started to just, I started growing my afro because of him. Okay.
Man, I mean, Burns has always been up there. But the Comes Up fight elevated him a lot because Comes Up was just this scary. Hamzat was this scary dude, and Burns took that fight and gave him a good run for his money. Like, that was a brilliant fight, and he shot everyone on that. And I think just regardless, like you got to give Burns credit for that and just coming up, stepping up. He beat Masvidal, okay, cool, but now this fight with Belal. It's unfortunate his shoulder was gone, but even if his shoulder was on point, I feel like you got Belal would have just still given him a hard
elevated
time.
Man. Belal elevated. I was actually quite surprised myself. Like Belal showed me as well that he's supremely underrated. That's what it showed me. Supremely underrated. It's that's why I say it's sad. To see him like that, like a Tony Ferguson, to be at that level, to take on, Gilbertburns is up there, like you said, and he like Bilal made him look like he was average, man. Right?
Yeah,
But
that's
even
it.
even even Gilbert could see. You could see when he would go to the corner, shaking his head. He knew that he looked very dejected. He knew.
Yes, yes, yeah. The quarter, even Rogan and Cormier and them are all saying that he looks very dejected and
Yeah,
and whatnot.
he
So
looked out of it. He
it's
looked out of it. He
definitely
knew.
crazy. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if it
I
was
don't
a
know
mental
why.
thing. I don't know if it was that left shoulder that just kind of like was making him feel that way, but it was
No, no.
definitely a tough one.
Hats off to Bilal. Simple. Hats off to
100%,
Bilal.
man. Hey, yo,
That's
free Palestine. In
it.
respect for Belalmuhammad and whatnot. All right, man. Let's move on. I'm looking forward to seeing his
Yeah,
exciting
man.
the future for him. All right, freaking hell. Women's strawweight
Mm.
division, man. Jessicaandrade versus
Bro,
Yanxiaonan.
she got she got finished, man.
Ooh, bro.
She got
Like
finished.
we are
She wasn't
used to
looking.
seeing Jessica Andrade doing that to people, but
Do
to
that.
see that happen to her, just getting
She weren't
clocked.
looking. She weren't looking.
She was
Like,
rushing in, and I think
yes.
Jan's striking just the straights. That's the basics of throwing the straights was just perfect. She was
Mm.
so on point. Andrade was
Mm-hmm.
coming in with the looping shots, and the best way to beat a looping shot, the fastest way to a distance is straight through the middle, and that's what she was doing,
Diminish that.
bro.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. Yeah.
her
Yeah. Yeah.
striking
Yeah.
looked
Yeah.
on point, and she made a statement. And in that division, and for her to go against Zhang Weili in maybe in China, but an all Chinese title fight, bro, that's big. That's fucking exciting. You know what I mean? That's big for China. And then
That
the UFC's growth in China and I don't want to say Asia specifically, but China specifically, which is big anyway in itself. So that's huge.
phenomenal for China. Her doing that and in that fashion as well. Like um, in regards to okay, I saw this video on YouTube. I'm gonna go for it real fast. Basically, this guy was he's a founder, right? The founder of Fairfax Gym in Thailand, and he was basically saying that because weekend there was the fight in Lupini, ONE FC. I know we're not gonna talk about it right now, but that was there, and there was also the fight in the US. And he was saying, listen, Thai fighters, be warned, right? Because the foreigners are coming and they're spending all their time training and working hard. And you Thai guys taking time off and maybe saying, I'll take a month to go and fight this guy and not working as hard as you need to do. And I'm thinking, damn. And this guy said, look, I do not, Muay Thai fighting is at the top of the chain at the moment because of ONE FC, ONE Championship. Yeah, I know I'm going completely off topic for a minute, but bear with me. And he says it's completely, because of Chatchery, whatever, it's a big deal. But I would not want to see all of my Muay Thai fighters championships in foreign countries. You know what I'm saying? So my point is, this weekend we had a lot of Asian fighters go and put their stamp down, and China, rodtang did his thing, and so on. So it's a really big look at the Asian market. Sorry, this because obviously it was the fights in America as well. So the Asian market's going to boom massively from this, and it's going to be really exciting to see the eruption. I've gone on a massive tangent, and I'm sorry, but
No, it's cool. I mean, and it makes sense. And we're going to talk about ONE FC very shortly after we quickly go through this card. But you're right, and we'll get to the ONE FC and their impact in Asia
yeah,
and what they've done.
yeah,
But with the
yeah.
UFC, I mean, Yan, what's her name? Yan just made a big
She
impact.
looks so dangerous,
She
man.
looked good, and like I said, Zhang Weili is already a superstar in China. So just even if it's China against China, it's really not. It's really just an evolution of representing China and representing
yeah.
female fighting like at the highest
Yeah.
level. It's really freaking
Important.
exciting, man. They should do a
Female
card.
fighting as well.
The next Asia card the UFC decides to do, and hopefully they do in China, they should have those two in a title fight. I mean, that'd be freaking big. That'd be amazing. So that's big.
Wouldn't it be even bigger if somehow, like the Monday Night Wars of WCW, and WWF when they were both on the same day, like Monday night. Imagine ONE FC and UFC had both the Asian champions fight on the same day. To see the ratings, it would be crazy.
It could, I mean, they could, I mean, look, this, I mean, almost on the same day. It was one day about, I don't think they need to compete though on the same day. I like the fact that ONE FC was on Friday, so I was able to sit, chill and watch it on Saturday, and then UFC was on Saturday night, which it usually is. So I don't think anyone should like put up their egos and be like, let's pull it on the same night so we can see the ratings. I say keep it separate. For the fans are who we are, want to watch all the fights. Regardless, if I watch the UFC, I'm gonna go watch ONE FC later. If I watch ONE FC, I'm like, no need to compete. Just give me all of it on separate days. Let me enjoy as a fan. Let me enjoy whatnot. I don't think there's no need to prove who can get the highest ratings on the same day or whatnot. You know what I mean?
Of course, no. I'm not saying they should, but it just reminds me of this, like,
the
two biggest kind of competitions. You know, okay, they're not on the same day and whatever, and that's fine, and we love that. But to just have them like, you know, both A and B of this sport, like at the pinnacle of the sport, the best athletes in the world. You know, it's amazing for us to watch this and to appreciate the art form, you know, in splendor.
Definitely.
Fucking,
I mean,
wow.
it's exciting. It's exciting for Asia. It's exciting for martial arts. It's exciting for the UFC, ONE FC, all that sort of stuff. But yeah, I mean, I'm looking forward to seeing if they do that fight in the future. Super exciting for that strawweight division. It's just amazing that they can make that division fun and exciting. And who knocks out someone in that division? You know, I'm trying to say that's what makes it even more exciting that you know, we got a knockout in that female strawweight division. So pretty awesome, man. Moving on to the next fight, which was another flyweight fight. Movsarevloev who's 17-0 now, versus Diegolopes. Lopez is coming in from a different organization, right? This was his first fight in the UFC, right? Because I think what's his name? Bryce Mitchell pulled out, so Moscow was looking for an opponent. Diego stepped in, even though Diego's got more fight experience because he's like 20, how many fights? Like 27 fights, something like that. You know, Movsar has more fight experience in the UFC. I mean, another Russian, 17-0. He looked freaking good, but Diego gave him a good one for his money. I mean, what a great statement. Like, it's your first fight in the UFC, and you're fighting a top 10 dangerous dude that nobody else really wants to fight, and you put him in so many dangerous positions, the armbar, the kimura, the knee bar at the end. So, like, that first round where he put him in some dangerous position. But you know, hopefully I'm saying this right. Movsar, you know, came back round 2, you know, and put that pace back on him, and then round 3 was a bit more of an even one. But Movsar showed that why he's in the top 10, why people are scared of fighting him. It was actually a really exciting fight, man. But you know, Diego's definitely going to get a contract after this, right? And that'll be pretty awesome.
It would be pretty nice if he does get that contract. I didn't actually watch that fight. That's one of the ones I need to go and like catch up on. But I remember hearing the buzz about it, and it seems like it was worth the time, right? Should I watch it?
I think it's worth it. It's worth it. It's someone exciting to follow, man. Someone exciting to to keep your eye on, bro, because he's an exciting fighter.
Okay.
Yeah. Cool. You better make sure no sharks come and bite your ass, because we're gonna have that live on camera, bro.
Hey, live man, don't hate.
Fight talk. I'm hating.
Don't hate, man. Appreciate.
Yeah, no, it looks nice out there, bro. I'm just not an ocean guy. You will never catch me in the ocean, bro. Maybe really? I've been in there. I've been in there. Don't get me wrong, but I've seen too many. And Instagram keeps following me because of the algorithm. But I keep seeing too many shark things, and I'm like, nah, I'm good with the ocean.
Okay. All right. Well, fuck it, man. Bathtub is scary enough, huh?
Yeah, well, yeah. Enjoy it, man. Looks nice. Lastly, on that UFC card, before we move on to ONE FC, the featherweight, another featherweight bout between Krongracie versus charlesjoudain.
Oh no!
That, I don't know if you saw that. Krongracie, obviously the legend, the name, you know, is legendary, right? And it's always exciting to see him coming and fighting because of that name and everything. But this looked like an old school versus new school fighter. Old school being Krongracie obviously is a specialist, is an expert in jiu-jitsu. But Charles just looked more well-rounded, right? Because in this fight, Kron didn't even look like he wanted to strike. He was just covering up, trying to get the clinch, and then pulling guard. And then in the guard, of course, he's super dangerous. But Charles's experience and obviously they put a game plan together where, like, if you get caught in there, don't try to be exciting and try and challenging him in his world. Just stay tight, stay really tight. Don't put any limbs out there. Eventually, he started putting limbs out there, but in the beginning, just keeping all the limbs and the neck down and tight so nothing can be caught. And then, you know, when the time's right, get back on the stand-up. And in the stand-up, he pieced up Krongracie. Even with the crowd, I mean, they were even excited. Like in the beginning, like you can even hear it in them. In the beginning, Krongracie, what do you call it? When he pulled guard, the crowd started cheering because you know how exciting it is. But then by the third round, when he was doing it, there was no, it wasn't as exciting because like nothing was really happening. So even the crowd knew like nothing's really happening if he pulls guard because, you know, Charles again was smart enough not to put any limbs out there and get caught. So I don't know what happened to Kron. I mean, it's strange that he didn't even try to strike because even against Gilbertburns, he was putting on some striking and whatnot. But in this, he chose not to strike at all and just just try and storm forward and take it to the ground. But he wasn't even shooting really. He was just kind of pulling guard. So interesting. I don't know what happens with him. I don't know. I don't know what happens with him moving forward. But you know, hats off to Charles, man. For putting up a good game plan. He called out Edson Barbosa, which will be fun and exciting. So, yeah, moving up there.
Damn, I didn't see that fight, but when I saw his name, like he was gonna be on his card, I wasn't excited for it. You know, like I know he does what he does, and you know that's incredible for what it is. But I haven't seen him like Mackenzie Dern like turn on, change his style a little bit, adding some strike and become dangerous. I've just seen him be this, you know, Damian Maya in the early days, you know, just wrapping people up, you know. And at least Damian Maya eventually evolved to start putting a little bit of hands in, and you know, he started to do something with it. But this guy, man, I don't know. That's all I can say.
Look, I mean, at least with Damian Maya, I mean, and I don't know what it was, but with Damian Maya, he used to like push the pace, you know, to try and get the takedown, to try and get, you know, for a single or double, whatever. But I don't know, it just seemed like there was no pace pushing to try and get that. It was either pull guard and it's not even trying to strike, you know. I'm cautious striking ain't going to be the best, but it just seemed like, yeah, I don't know, man. It just seemed very old school versus new school, you know. So it's interesting.
Damn. I just heard the people talking about it, like, and they said something at social traders about this old school, new school, and you know, like he needs to change things up and this and that. So, you know, one of those ones.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's move on to the ONE FC because we had some exciting. That was another exciting card, very historical as well for ONE FC because it was their first fight in the US. Was it in Colorado? I think it was. But very exciting. Look, ONE FC has always been exciting. They do an amazing thing with martial arts. They have world-class grappling fights. They have world-class Muay Thai and kickboxing fights, and they have world-class MMA fights. They've won the Asia. They got that in the bag, but this was their first fight in the US. Sorry, super exciting fights, man. I managed to watch as many of the fights as I can. I didn't go through all the fights, but real quick run through some of them. Sage Northcutt coming back after 4 years after that devastating, you know, strike that he took that smashed his face basically. He came back, looked great. And he got a great submission against. He got a knee. I think it was a knee bar submission, which was amazing for him. So good for him. It's good to see him come back. You know, people might want to hate or whatnot, but he's a young kid. He got caught. He's, you know, a devastating injury, right? So it's great to see him come back and overcome that because that, you know, his face was cracked, his skull was cracked. That's scary. So I'm glad to see him come back and whatnot. Watching through this stampfairtex versus
Oh,
she was amazing. That was a beautiful body kick.
That kick.
Beautiful, yeah.
That kick. That was a sublime performance, and like a great display of Muay Thai at its finest.
100%.
Sharper.
Because
sharpshooter.
just that kick, right, was like, so it came off a clinch. They were in a clinch sort of position. It came off that she pushed, and then the way the kick was so beautiful, because if you see it twisted, her hips twisted into it. It was so nice, considering it was off a clinch and in that positioning, and she just threw it landed straight in the gut. Like it was beautifully placed.
Gave her the ting.
Yeah, man, amazing. So she was awesome. That was a great fight to see. In the submission grappling flyweight world champion, man, that was a great mikeymusumeci versus Osama. Anyway, I just call him Osama. Bro, watching Mikey fight, every time, because I love, like, he's amazing. Like, he seems like the nicest, sweetest guy in the world.
I hear.
He looks like a nerd who would assassinate you. He would kill you, right? When he was at Evolve, I wish I had the opportunity to at least train with him or whatnot. I left. He came, but I was leaving just when he was doing workshops and whatnot. But man, every time I watch him compete, I'm always watching it like shit, because he's an assassin when he grabs your legs, and I'm like, something's gonna pop, and I'm just kind of always like cringing, because I'm like, shit, he's gonna tear something, be it your ankle, be it your knee, or something like that.
I don't want to see that. I don't want to see it.
He's such an assassin, bro. He's such an assassin. And what happened was when he goes for the ankle, you can't get rid of it. He eventually won by rear naked choke. He's an amazing person. And as soon as he's like the nicest guy in the world, man. He seems like the sweetest guy ever, man. So happy for him to see, and it's great for the world to see BJJ at his highest performance with Mikey. So that's it's amazing that one championship do that, and even on a card in the US they put that out there. So that's amazing. Moving on. The Iron Man Rodtang, bro, fighting Edgar Tavares, bro. Rodtang, and Rodtang's just a beast, bro. And the fact that he was in the US and he was getting so much support, I don't know if you heard the crowd, but they were loving him. And it's so great to see someone like Rodtang, who is one of the best strikers or Muay Thai fighters ever, getting that kind of support in the US. Like, he has so many fans, and I was like, I love to see that. Like, I love seeing that it's working, you know what I mean? Like, one championship are doing such a great job that someone like Rodtang is getting that support out of the US, and he's got all those fans out there. But again, just another amazing performance. The guy is literally like Iron Man, just walks forward, can take a shot, and he just finished it with a beautiful elbow. Did you watch that fight?
I did, man. Like, that, Rodtang. I saw this video about him and Fairfax. I didn't even know that they dated. Did you know that?
No, I didn't. No.
Yeah, they dated. Like, Fairfax, she lost like both her belts and lost him in the same year. I don't know how long they dated for. Yeah, it was a crazy one. And then, she's finding her way back. Anyway, I did watch that fight. I don't know Tavares, but I heard a lot about him, that he was a good fighter and so on. But the finish was so incredible, man. It was nice the way he just countered the counter with the elbow, bang, straight in. That was beautiful.
I didn't even see the elbow at first. I was like, oh, what happened?
And
then you get the different angle, and you're like, oh, they done the replay, and you're like, damn, God. I didn't even see that happening. So good.
Yeah. It was crisp, man. It was so crisp. Like, it was again, another brilliant display of pure Muay Thai training.
Definitely. And
pure
I'm just happy.
So,
I was more happy to just see he was getting so much support, and he has so many fans in the US. I love to see it, because I'm like, man, people don't know about him just because he's in Asia and he's in Thailand, but I'm glad to see people see him. And this
gave him love.
This is the benefit of the One Championship. This is why One Championship are amazing at what they're doing, because they're getting these fighters that you don't know about. It's almost like the UFC, what they did with the Russian fighters, right? We didn't know about these Dagestanis and whatnot. And they come in and you're like, oh my God, Dagestani's on the map. Now, Thailand's always been on the map, but it's weird that, you know, like kickboxing and whatnot didn't pick up as much as it could have. But I feel like One Championships got that market.
Pushing that narrative.
Strange. To me, and not even just kickboxing and Muay Thai, it's grappling as well. It's strange that the UFC, you know, promoted, not UFC, but that organization is promoting like the slap thing and not, you know, the combat jiu-jitsu or the Muay Thai. It's crazy how that's not happening. But anyway, I mean, listen, great job. Rodtang, superstar. He challenged the guy who just beat Nong O for the bantamweight. Haggerty. That, you know, if he's looking to go up. Yeah.
He's in Thailand.
Is he in Thailand, yeah?
Yeah, he's somewhere in some way. I missed him. I heard he's around.
Okay. Well, he just beat Nong O. It would be great if Iron Man goes, you know, Rodtang goes up and challenges him for the bantamweight Muay Thai championship.
He beat him before, no?
Did he beat him before? Has he beat him before?
I believe he did. I'll double check, but I'm sure he beat him before.
Bloody hell, man. These guys, man. It's great to see these Muay Thai fighters getting put on the map because we're talking about 200 and 300 fights. People don't know about this shit. You know, you don't know. Like, these guys are having 200-300 fights and whatnot. You gotta get these guys, man. You have to get to know them, man, because it's freaking exciting and amazing.
It is. And I'm so glad that someone was able to do it because, you know, these competitors have been around for years, like you said, K1, Glory, and so on. And you know, it just so happens that one is the key, and they're doing a tremendous job with it. You know, even like, you know, yourself and myself always been into the whole MMA experience, but you know, even us, we look left and we see like want to see what they're doing with Muay Thai and all these other variants, and it's intriguing, and they turn it into a really entertaining spectacle for us. So, you know, I love it because it really does broaden my interest into martial arts. So yeah, I love it, man.
Definitely amazing. And then finally,
and I thank you, by the way, because you were the one who pushed me to get into it. I had to cut you.
Awesome. Well, no, I mean, I'm glad. I knew you would appreciate it anyway. And me being in Asia, and I went to a few ONE FC events, and then being in Singapore and training at Evolve, you're all around it. You know what I mean? And you could appreciate a lot more of the fighting standards in there. So I'm glad you got into it. But let's finish off.
Rodtang did beat him, by the way. Sorry to cut you. Rodtang did beat Haggerty by a TKO by knockout of the body punches.
Exactly. What that makes it even more exciting. So, you know, going up to fight him in the bantamweight division, and I guess you could say getting revenge for Nong O, his Thai brother. That would be exciting.
Yeah, maybe. You never know.
All right. Well, look, bro. Talking about legends, bro. Finishing off with Demetriousjohnson versus Anrianomoraes.
You missed that fight, man.
You missed it. I watched the basic copy. But anyway, I watched the fight. I was excited for that. DJ cemented himself, winning that fight. It wasn't, you know, first of all, I think people, because of the first fight and the second fight, the way they ended, it was just so exciting. People were expecting the same sort of thing. It wasn't exactly the same, but it was also a great fight. A lot of clinch battle, a lot of clinching against the defense, and a lot of DJ was flying in some of those clinches, man, trying to get some clinching, high flying, jumping knees and whatnot, which is also exciting to see. But DJ, man, I mean, we all thought this was his last fight. He was putting it out there. It might not be because it looks like someone else faced up with him. I can't remember his name. I got to find that. But what did you think? So you didn't watch that fight at all?
Nah, man. Unfortunately, I couldn't find a good copy. And then by the time we came to do this, you know, I still hadn't seen it. So no, I haven't seen it. But I just heard that, you know, he did his thing. He won. So to me, that's all it needs. All I need to hear, really. I mean,
it was a great strategic battle against both of them. They know the amazing thing about this fight. They both like at the highest level. They both beaten each other in almost the same freaking fashion. So they both respected each other's skill set. So I think it was just way more. It was more strategy and against each other. It's more strategic than anything, which was actually amazing to see. So I loved it, man. I mean, the guy who walked in, and I'm not familiar, and I'm still getting familiar with the ONE FC fighters, but it's a guy called Kairat Akamovet. Man, you know me, I can't fucking read the names, but Russian dude, always scary and all that sort of stuff. But let's see if DJ, look, I mean, if DJ retires, I think, man, he can retire on top. You can't, you know, one of the greatest of all times. You know, he's definitely up there, pound for pound, one of the best. Anyone would tell you that he's one of the best. So I'm excited to see what happens. If he retires, I'll be excited. If he carries on, I'll be excited. So regardless, man, love that dude. I'm glad he won. Biasly, I guess I'm glad he won just because I'm a fan of his, but can't put anything down for Adriana. He's absolutely amazing as well. But great card by the ONE FC in America. I hope they do more, but I hope they don't forget about Asia, which they won't anyway. But exciting, man. Exciting fights, man, this weekend. I was glad I got a chance to kind of sit down and just watch the fight. I didn't watch all of them. I mean, listen, prelims and all that stuff, I couldn't. It's too much. We're talking about, you know, maybe 12 hours of fights.
5 hours.
Yeah, UFC
yeah.
and ONE FC, just so much. But definitely exciting, man. It gives me at least, I'm excited to watch these fights, and I just love just sitting in the morning in my morning, just like getting on a coffee and just sitting on the sofa and watching them. It's exciting. But yeah, that's all the fights, man. I mean, we are gonna do, just so everyone knows, me and K West are gonna do the Brothers Geek Out podcast because Kibler's expecting a baby any second soon. So catch that episode, which will be coming out. K West, was there anything else on the fights before we move on to the Brothers Geek Out podcast?
Nah, man, I think we covered everything, really. I mean, we've got Shane O'Malley next against Aljamain, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. And then we've got Bilal versus Leon next, correct? Or Kobe? Huh? What? Who? What? Dana? Privilege? Okay. Okay. What else? Anyone else?
I think that's it, man. I think we covered a lot of fights. I mean, this week there was a lot of fights to cover, so it's actual fights. Next week you'll catch us back. There's more UFC fights going on. Let me just quickly tell you who's fighting next week. Rosenstrike versus who we got here. Oh, I lost my thing. Next week's another fight card, and you got Rosenstrike versus Gilbertburns Almeida. I don't know who that is. I think it's a Brazilian dude. But on that card, you got Anthony Smith and Johnny Walker. You got
Johnny Walker. Yeah, that's a fun one for me.
Yeah,
I like seeing
Angela Hill's fighting on that. Mackenzie Dern is on that.
Yes, I'm a fan.
Yep. So next week, that's next week. So yeah, let's catch up on that one, man. We'll catch up on that one. But yeah, man, cool, bro. Well, let's move on to the next podcast. Who, guys, if you're watching and whatnot, check out the Brothers Geek Out podcast. You get an opportunity to see K West in his element of talking about pop culture and geeky stuff, which he's also a fan of as well. So let's catch up with that. We see the beautiful view, bro.
Well, I was gonna say that in regards to geeky stuff, somewhere out there, perhaps, it's Cthulhu.
It's what?
Cthulhu.
What's that?
Woo! You do some research and you tell me. Let the viewers know next week who Cthulhu is. Yeah, Cthulhu. Okay. Cthulhu. I don't know, something like that. You can't miss him. It's a fucking nightmare.
Okay. Cthulhu. All right. Well, people.
H.P. Lovecraft.
All right. People, thanks for watching. Horror. Thank you for subscribing. All the good stuff and whatnot. Appreciate the support as always. And we'll catch you on next week's Fight Talk. Peace.
Yes, we will.
Right, let me put in, what's this? Hold on. Let me get a picture.